Welcome friends. Today we will learn about discrete Fourier transform, that is DFT. DFT is also known as sampling in frequency domain. First of all, recall discrete time Fourier transform DTFT from our previous chapter. DTFT is basically used to convert time domain signal into frequency domain signal and vice versa. If we have to calculate DTFT, we need a discrete time signal, and by this discrete time signal we can compute our Fourier transform by this equation. X of omega is equal to summation n is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n multiplied by e to power minus j omega n, and we can compute our time domain signal xn by using this frequency domain signal x of omega by this equation 1 upon 2 pi integration from minus infinity to infinity x of omega multiplied by e to power j omega n multiplied by d omega. Here we can note 2 points. These 2 points are basically disadvantages of our DTFT. First, our input is a our input xn is a discrete time signal, and our output in frequency domain x of omega is continuous frequency signal, and this is due to the continuous nature of omega in our exponential term. Second, x of omega is periodic signal with period 2 pi. Therefore, DTFT is not suitable for DSP applications, because in DSP we are able to compute the spectrum only at specific discrete values of omega. Any signal in any DSP application can be measured only in a finite number of points. Now let us see how we can compute DFT from DTFT. For that, we need a finite signal measured at n points. Suppose we have an input time domain signal xn, which is equal to 0 for all values of n less than 0, n equal to yn for all values of n in between 0 to n minus 1, and 0 for all values of n greater than equal to n. Now we have to calculate the frequency spectrum x of omega in frequency, so that we can find a n-point DFT by this equation x of k, where x of k is our now frequency spectrum, which is now equal to x of k delta omega, where delta omega is equal to 2 pi by n. Hence we can say that our xk is now equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 xn multiplied by e to power minus j 2 pi kn by n. That is our DFT equation now. Now recall that our frequency domain spectrum x of omega is a continuous signal from minus infinity to positive infinity. And second, we know that our output spectrum is a continuous spectrum as well as periodic spectrum. Means after this it will again repeat, and before this it has again it has a spectrum. Means our x of omega is a continuous spectrum in our frequency domain from minus pi to pi, and it is a repetitive spectrum. From that we have to calculate our DFT. To calculate our DFT, we have to sample our this omega continuous frequency, and we have to convert it into a discrete frequency. Now look, we have converted this signal into a sample signal, where this delta omega is now equal to 2 pi divided by n. Means 2 pi is the range of this spectrum. This spectrum is available from minus pi to pi. Hence total range is equal to 2 pi divided by a factor n. N is number of samples, total number of samples कि जिसके लिए हम इसको total number of samples, for that we have to divide our spectrum, and we are doing it for a kth sample, kth value. Hence we can write this whole factor as a x of k, where x of k is equal to x multiplied by k delta omega. Hence this delta omega is now equal to what? This delta omega is now equal to 2 pi by n. Hence we can replace our omega in our previous expression by a factor 2 pi kn by n. Only by replacing this value in our dtft function, we can compute now dft, which is now easier and fast method to compute our Fourier transform. Now if we have to compute our inverse DFT, IDFT by given x of omega, we have a signal in frequency domain x of omega, from this signal we have to compute our time domain signal xn. We can compute it by using this equation. Xn is equal to 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k multiplied by e to power j 2 pi kn by n. Simply what we can check here, now our exponential term is a positive value, and we are computing our discrete time xn by using our frequency domain signal x of k. Second, we are dividing this whole term by a value n to normalize our values of xn. Second, we can see that after putting this value of xk in our expression from our DFT expression, we can see that our xn is now equal to summation m is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of m multiplied by 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 e to power minus j 2 pi k m minus n by n. This function k n to n now will become 1 only for a value when m is equal to n. For this value, this expression will become 1 and ultimately our output will be equal to xn. Otherwise, for all other values of f, m is not equal to n, our output will be 0. Second, now we can see that our DFT pair is, if we have to compute our frequency domain signal x of k, that is a analysis equation where we are calculating it from xn. Second, when we have to find our discrete time signal, this type of signal is called synthesis equation, where our frequency domain signal is multiplied by positive exponential term. Second, we can check that our frequency domain signal x of k is a complex valued signal because we are multiplying it with a complex exponential signal. Hence our output will be a real part plus j imaginary part type signal. Hence we have to calculate our magnitude. We can calculate our magnitude by taking mode of x of k, that is equal to real part square plus imaginary part square total under the root, and we have to calculate phase angle, that is equal to angle of x of k equal to tangent inverse imaginary part divided by real part. Now look at the alternate formulation to calculate DFT. To calculate DFT, we have x of k is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n multiplied by wkn, where this wkn is now known as the, this twiddle factor is very important in calculating our DFT. While calculating our discrete time signal from IDFT, we have to multiply it with the negative twiddle factor. This negative twiddle factor is equal to e to power j 2 pi by n. Second, how to systematically represent our DFT. Here we can see that we can calculate our DFT for all values of n and k, for all values of n and k, and we can multiply for each value of n. We can multiply our twiddle factor for each value of n, and at last we can add all these values to compute one value of our x of k, for one value of k, that is k is equal to 0 or k is equal to 1 till k value of n minus 1. We have to repeat this process for all values of k. Now suppose we have a input signal xn, that is 1 in between 0 to n minus 1 and 0 otherwise. We can compute its DTFT as well as DFT. For calculating its DTFT and DFT, let us take n is equal to 5 and compare both of results. Now check. For DTFT, we have a input signal that is 1 for 5 values, and after that we have values zeros till infinity. Means we have a infinite signal or infinite number of sample in case of DTFT. For that, if we have to calculate our frequency domain spectrum, we can check that our output spectrum is a continuous spectrum, as well as it is a uh, repetitive spectrum in a range from minus pi to positive pi. Means it has a spectrum period of 2 pi, whereas in case of DFT we have only this 5 samples in a non-zero range. These five samples are only in non-zero range. For only these non-zero values, we have to calculate our DFT. Means we are calculating only 5 output values of frequency signal x of k. First value, second value, third value, fourth value, and fifth value. After that, we can say that our signal is a repetitive signal. Means in a range from minus pi to pi, we are having only now 5 samples, which is equal to our input values. We have 5 input values and we have 5 output values. Whereas in case of DTFT, we have infinite number of output values, which is very difficult to compute. Now let us check the effect of zero padding. Zero padding is a process of adding zeros after the non-zero values of input, and we have to check how this zero padding will improve the spectrum of DFT. Now check, this yn is now equal to x of 0 to x of m minus 1. These values are 1, and after that we are adding zeros for values n minus m positions, and after calculating its DFT we will find y of k. By evaluating this expression, we can find the final output, that is equal to sine of pi km by n divided by sine pi k by n multiplied by e to the power minus j pi k m minus 1 by n. And now we have to check the effect of this zero padding in our example. Let us check our same example in previous slide, where we have now added 5 zeros in our pulse. After adding 5 zeros, our DFT signal is now equal to 5 ones and 5 zeros. We have total 10 number of samples starting from 0 to n. We can check it here. We have total 5 non-zero values, and after that we have added 5 zero values. Now we have total 10 samples, and we can see the improvement in our DFT signal. In our DFT signal, now we have total 10 non-zero values: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. After this value, our spectrum is again repetitive spectrum. We can check it or we can compare it with our previous example, in which our n was 5. We can compare it in these two graphs. In these two graphs, we can clearly see that in with n is equal to 5, we have total 5 output values of our DFT, but in case of 10 input values, we have total 10 output values of our DFT. Means we can improve our spectrum by using zero padding, but we have to note that by zero padding of analyzed sequence, it results in approximating its DTFT better. We can better approximate our DTFT signal. Second, zero padding cannot improve the resolution of spectral components. It will not improve the spectral components because the resolution is proportional to 1 by m rather than 1 by n. And third, zero padding is very important for fast DFT implementation like FFTs. Now look how we can solve numericals based on DFT. Suppose we have a signal xn that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and we have to find its DFT for n is equal to 4. For that, simply our x of naught is equal to 1, x of 1 is equal to 2, x of 2 is equal to 3 and x of 3 is equal to 4. And our 4-point DFT of xn is now given as x of k, which is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 xn multiplied by negative exponential e minus j2 pi kn by n. Now first we have to calculate for k is equal to 0. For k is equal to 0, our x of 0 is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to 3, where n minus 1 is equal to 3, 4 minus 1, 3, xn multiplied by e to power minus j 2 pi 0 n by 4. We have to put k is equal to 0 in this exponential term, where we can calculate it as a x of naught multiplied by e to power 0 plus x1 e to power 0 plus x2 e to power 0 plus x3 multiplied by e to power 0. Ultimately, we are adding all amplitudes and our output is equal to 10. In second case, when we are calculating x of 1, we are putting k is equal to 1. For that, our exponential term in our expression will become e to power minus j 2 pi 1 n by 4. For first value, n is equal to 0, and for second value, n is equal to 1, and third value, n is equal to 2, and for last value, n is equal to 3. We have to expand this exponential as this identity e to power minus plus theta is equal to cos theta plus minus j sin theta. Hence, if we check that this e to power minus j pi by 2 is equal to cos pi by 2 minus j sin pi by 2, which is equal to minus j, and for this value e to power minus j 2 pi by 2 pi, our value will come minus 1, and then for last value our value again will come j. We can see that after solving this equation we have a value minus 2 plus 2j, which is a complex value, real part plus imaginary part. Second, now we have to solve this equation for k is equal to 2. For solving it for k is equal to 2, we are putting the value of k is equal to 2 and expanding all terms for all values of n. For n is equal to 0, 1, 2 and last 3. And after solving, we can check that its output is equal to minus 2. For last value of k, 3, we are putting n is equal to 3 and expanding our term for all values of n starting from 0 to 3. We can check that our output is now minus 2j. Hence, the final output is equal to 10 minus 2 plus 2j minus 2 and minus 2j. Here we can see that if we leave this first term, we can check that our signal is a symmetric signal. At this point, we can notice that our signal is complex conjugate. Here minus 2 plus 2j here minus 2j complex conjugate values of our signal will come. In this second numerical, we have to find our time domain signal from frequency domain signal by using IDFT. Now we can check that our frequency domain signal is xk is equal to 10 minus 2 plus 2j minus 2 minus 2 minus 2j. We have to find our x of n time domain signal for n is equal to 4. For that, we have to find a IDFT of our xk. Uh, we have to repeat same procedure as as I explained in our previous example. But we have to notice here. We have to check. First, we are putting here our frequency domain signal, the value of xk, and our summation is now expanding for k is equal to 0 to n minus 1. Second, at last, we are normalizing our factor by 1 minus n, where n is equal to 4. Now, third part, what we have to notice, our exponential is now positive exponential. In same way, first we have to find x of naught for n is equal to 0. We have to find the value of n is equal to 0, and we have to expand our exponential for all values of k starting from 0 to n minus 1, that is 3. So first value comes 1 by 4 multiplied by 4, means it is now equal to 1. In similar manner, we have to solve our complete numerical for all values of n is equal to 1, and expand for all values of k 0 to n minus 1, then n is equal to 2, then n is equal to 4, and we can see that now our time domain signal is equal to x of n, that is 1 2 3 4, as our signal given in previous example. Now look how can we solve our question number 1 by using alternate method, that is called matrix formulation. For that, we have to formulate a matrix for all values of k, x of naught, x of k when k is equal to 0, k is equal to 1, k is equal to 2, and k is equal to 3. Second is our Twiddle factor matrix, in which we have to calculate our exponential terms for k is equal to 0, 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 and for all these values our n is equal to 0, means all these values are now equal to 1. For remaining exponentials, we have to calculate our values of exponential. These exponential values are minus j, minus 1, plus j, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1, plus j, minus 1, and minus j. For any given n point DFT, this matrix is a constant matrix. If we solve it, it will give same results. And after this, we have to multiply this Twiddle factor matrix with our time sequence, given time sequence, value of x naught when n is equal to 0, when n is equal to 1, when n is equal to 2, and when n is equal to 3. After putting its values 1, 2, 3, 4, we can multiply this Twiddle factor matrix with this time sequence matrix, and we can find our outputs. First 10, then second minus 2 plus 2j, third minus 2, and last minus 2 minus 2j. We can see here our outputs are same as in question number 1. In our last example, we can solve our question number 2 by using alternate method, that is matrix formulation. In this case, simply we have to replace our matrix. Here we can replace our time sequence matrix with our frequency domain matrix, and here we can use our frequency sequence as our input sequence. Now our output is a time domain sequence and our input is a frequency domain signal. Second, we can check that now we are using positive exponential, means our values are now complex conjugate values of our previous example. Here we can see that its value is positive j now, minus j now, minus j and plus j. And second, what we are checking, we are dividing it with a factor n to normalize our input values. Now n is here, now n is equal to 4 here. Simply after solving we get values 4, 8, 12 and 16. Now simply by normalizing a factor n, our final output is 1, then 2, then 3 and 4, which is same as given in our example number 2. Here we have noticed in our question number 3rd and question number 4, by using this alternate method or matrix formulation method to find either DFT or IDFT, we can simplify our numerical and we can fastly calculate our outputs. I hope now you all are comfortable with finding or solving our problems with the help of DFT and IDFT. Thank you.